Добрый день, Sergeant. Меня зовут Topolov. General Topolov. Рад видеть, comrade. Your mission in the Ukraine is simple. Allied forces seek to challenge Soviet air supremacy. Right in our faces, they build MiG prototypes of their own. They test their new air fuel bomb. They test their chronosphere. The Govnyuks grow bold. There's got to be a settling of the score. Destroy the prototypes, but take the chronosphere. Purge the Ukraine of the Allied presence and the bastard behind the threat. Assassinate General Stavros, the Greek commander. До свидания. That is all.
Commander?
Yes, sir.
Ready and waiting. Reporting.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Engineering.
Yes, sir. At once.
Affirmative.
Very well. At once. Very well.
Engineering. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Mission saved.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Agreed.
Engineering. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Mission loaded.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Yes,
Very well.
Ready
Yes,
and
sir.
waiting.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Agreed. Very well.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged. At once.
Yes, affirmative.
Waiting orders. Very well.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Reporting. Very well. Agreed. Very well. At once. Affirmative. 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 At once. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Agreed. 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 Affirmative.
Mission loaded.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. Engineering.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 At once.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Ready and waiting. Very well. At once. Very well. At once. Agreed.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Agreed. At once. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Affirmative. At once. Very well.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Reporting. Very well. Agreed. Very well. At once. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Reporting. Agreed. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once. At once. Affirmative. Agreed.
Yes. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Reporting. At once. Affirmative. At once.
Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. At once.
Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Ready and waiting.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Agreed. Very well.
Yes, affirmative.
Yes, sir. Very well. Agreed. Yes, sir.
Unit
Reporting.
lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once. Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. At once.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Very well.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. At once. Awaiting orders. Agreed. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Reporting.
Unit
Yes, sir.
lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Agreed. 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 Affirmative. Very well.
Engineering. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Very well. Affirmative. At once. Very well.
Yes. Affirmative.
Reporting. Very well. At once. Affirmative. Very well.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Report agreed. Agreed. Affirmative. Agreed.
Yes, affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Yes, sir. At once. Agreed. Agreed. At once. Agreed. At once. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once. Very well. Affirmative. Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very well.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Agreed. Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Report at once. Agreed. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Agreed.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Ready and waiting. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Engineering.
Lost.
Affirmative.
Mission loaded.
Yes, sir. At once.
Engineering.
Ready and wait. Agreed. Affirmative.
Engineering.
Ready and wait. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Ready and waiting. Well. At once. Very well. At once.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Agreed. At once.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Very well. Agreed. Awaiting orders. Very well. Very well. Very well. Agreed. Very well.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At once.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Very well. Agreed.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. 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 At once. Yes, sir. Of course. At once. Of course.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. 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 Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Very well. At once.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Report agreed. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Everything scorched earth. Give him
Mission
help.
saved.
Give him help.
Ready and waiting.
I'm afraid.
Acknowledged at once.
Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting. Very well.
Unit lost.
At once. Very well. At once. Affirmative.
Yes, affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Very well. Agreed.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Reporting. Very well. Agreed.
Reinforcements have
Affirmative.
arrived.
Agreed.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting. Agreed. Acknowledged. Agreed.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Reporting. Agreed. Affirmative. 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 Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Waiting orders. At once. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Agreed. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Reporting. Very well. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Reporting. Very well. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Reporting. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Very well.
Mission saved.
Yes, sir. Reporting. Agreed. Agreed.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. At once. At once. Affirmative. At once.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Ready and waiting. Agreed. Agreed. At once. Agreed. Agreed. At once.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Mission saved.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. At once. Ready and waiting.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. At once. Very well. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Affirmative.
Unit
Yes, sir.
lost.
Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Acknowledged. At once. Very well. Ready and waiting. Awaiting orders.
Mission saved.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Mission loaded.
Affirmative. At once. Agreed. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative. Engineering.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Ready and very well. At once. Very well. At once. Agreed. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. Agreed. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Very well. Very well. Reporting. Very well. Agreed. Reporting. At once. Affirmative.
Mission saved.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Reporting at once. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Agreed. Reporting. Reporting.
Engineering. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders at once. At once. Very well. Reporting. Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Agreed. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed.
Unit lost.
Ready and waiting. Very well. Very well. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Very well. Agreed. Very well. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Reporting. Very well.
Unit lost.
Agreed. Reporting. Very well. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Agreed. Very well. Affirmative. At once. Agreed. At once. Yes, sir. At once.
Unit lost.
At once.
Unit lost.
Very well. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. At once. Yes, sir. At once. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. 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 Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. At once. Reporting. Affirmative. At once. Reporting. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. At once. Reporting. Affirmative. At once. Yes, sir. At once.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Very well.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Acknowledged. Agreed. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Agreed.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Ready and waiting. Agreed. Acknowledged. At once. Agreed. Acknowledged. At once. Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once. Ready and waiting. Very well. Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well.
Engineering.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Agreed. Awaiting orders. Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Mission saved.
Engineering affirmative. Affirmative.
Mission loaded.
Yes, sir.
Reinforcements have arrived.
At once. Ready and waiting. Agreed. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. At once. Reporting. At once. Agreed. Yes, sir. Agreed. Agreed. At once. Agreed. Reporting. Agreed. Yes, sir. At once. Very well. Very well. Reporting. Very well. Agreed. Reporting. At once.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Ready and waiting. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Engineering affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very well.
Engineering affirmative. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. At once. Ready and waiting. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed. Very well. At once. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. At once. Reporting. Very well. Affirmative. At once. At once. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Very well. Reporting. At once. Very well. Reporting. Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed. Reporting. Affirmative. Agreed. Very well. Reporting. Affirmative. Very well. Acknowledged. Very well. Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Reporting. Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well.
Commander?
Yes, sir. Ready and waiting.
Engineering.
Ready and waiting. Agreed. Very well.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Waiting orders. Once.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Ready and waiting. Agreed.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Very well. Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Waiting
Affirmative.
orders. Very well. Very well.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Agreed. Agreed.
Yes, affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. 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 At once.
Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Agreed. Very well. At once. Very well. Affirmative. Very well.
Lost.
Very well. Very well.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Very well. At once. At once. Very well. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Very well.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Very well. At once.
Yes, sir.
Report
Affirmative.
agreed. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Very well.
Mission saved.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Waiting orders. Very well.
Yes, sir. Engineering. Affirmative.
Ready and waiting. Agreed. Very well. Affirmative. At once. Agreed. 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 Affirmative. At once. Agreed. Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Agreed. Agreed. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once. At once. Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost. Reinforcements
Affirmative.
have arrived.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed. Agreed. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Reporting. Reporting. Yes, sir. At once.
Yes, sir. Engineering. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. At once. Very well. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Very well. At once. At once. Yes, sir? Of course. At once. At once. Yes, sir? At once. Agreed. Agreed. Acknowledged. Reporting. Agreed. Agreed. At once.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Enemy approaching.
Yes, sir?
Enemy approaching.
At once.
Mission saved.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Yes, sir? Agreed.
Ready and waiting. Yes, sir.
It is done. Acknowledge.
Affirmative.
Shake it, baby.
Mission loaded.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. Engineering. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Mission loaded.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. 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 Engineering. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir? Agreed. Agreed. Reporting. Agreed.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir? Reporting. Very well. Very well. Reporting. Very well. Agreed. Very well. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well.
Lost.
Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Agreed. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed. Very well. At once. Affirmative. Reporting. Yes, sir. At once. Very well. Affirmative. At once. Reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Very well. At once. At once. Very well. Agreed. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Agreed. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Ready and waiting. Very well. Very well. Affirmative. Very well.
Unit
Yes, sir.
lost.
Yes. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Agreed. Very well. Affirmative. At once. Agreed. Agreed. Acknowledged. At once.
Mission accomplished.
Short fires, yeah.